We're ranking the top 25 current Premier League players. I've got Sam here with me today.
Hey guys.
Yeah. Let's get stuck into it. I think the most obvious one for me is definitely KDB.
Yeah.
I think he's gone in top 5. No questions asked. Oh, the other one, I'm looking straight at Harry Kane here.
Oh yeah, you gotta chuck him in.
Okay, he's top 5 as well.
So this is current form, not in their prime, right?
Let's give him last 6 months.
Recent history.
Last 6 months.
Last 6 months.
I'll also point out, someone else has put this together, so we've got 100 players on this list, so we're just going to pluck the best 25 off of them. I think just naturally we're going to be more favourable towards the attacking players. I think we'll make a strict rule, we'll take away goalkeepers, just because it's really hard, well, I find it really hard to compare them. For me, Van Dijk's definitely in top 25.
Yeah, put him in.
I don't know if he's 1 to 5, based on current form, last 6 months.
Wouldn't be, but that's more based on Liverpool's form as well.
I'd go 6 to 10 at the very least.
Yeah. Now for me, you're missing my boy Son.
6 to 10 as well?
Yeah, 6 to 10. And
those two could potentially move up.
And you gotta acknowledge the fact he's just a great lad as well. You know,
nice guy.
Nice guy.
I'm just trying to think like who is
someone obvious.
Yeah, who like just epitomises the Premier League, like who is just without question getting in there.
Off the top of your head, you gotta go Haaland.
Oh yeah.
Talk of the town right now.
Scroll up with him. All right, Haaland, get him in there. We'll go 1 to 5 just because of his numbers.
Yeah.
Just been insane the last 6 months. Mo Salah, he's got to go in there top 5.
Yeah.
He's got the consistency.
Top 5 right now?
Last 6 months, I'd say so. I mean, within the last 6 months, Liverpool are falling 1 point short of winning the Premier League, and
true.
Liverpool as a whole have had a pretty poor start to the season.
It still says, top 5
Yeah,
player.
he's definitely got enough in the bank to put him in there. Who do you want to chuck in next? I mean, it doesn't have to be top 5.
I would definitely put in Silva and Mahrez somewhere in there.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe 11 to 15 for now.
Yeah, we can revise it.
Chuck both of them in there.
Where did Bernardo go? I saw him before.
He's there.
Bruno Fernandes is probably going to have to be in there.
He's got to go in there, yeah.
11, 15.
Ronaldo's there. Would you even put him in the top 25 in the last 6 months? Probably not, hey?
Probably not. I mean, he couldn't even get a game for United.
Even after the World Cup, they're still going with the whole Messi-Ronaldo debate. Right now, I don't think I'd put him in the top 25.
I wouldn't put him in the top 25 now. Oh yeah.
Phil
Foden?
No, Foden's got to go in there.
This gets real hard because I can't scroll up. 6 to 10?
6 to 10, yeah. I think we got to go through a few Arsenal players now.
Yeah, well, who would
That'd
you
make
put
it
in?
pretty. Saka.
Yeah, he's definitely in there.
I reckon I'd put him potentially 6 to 10 at the moment. Maybe 11 to 15.
11 to 15 minimum, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's still young and he's probably going to get better, but the form he's in right now, it's just...
I'll put him 11 to 15.
And alongside Saka, I do rate Martinelli quite highly as well.
He's not the same as Saka. He's definitely
I'd say he's
good.
definitely
And
up
this
there with
season,
him.
I mean, because of form, like your mind is so quickly like, yeah, this guy's unreal. Would you put Martinelli in top 25 in the Premier League?
I reckon.
I'm happy to put him in.
I think it's definitely top 25,
All
especially
right.
the
I'll
form
put him in the
Arsenal's
lower bracket, and come the end, if there's
We'll
anyone I
see.
feel is missing
Make some
out,
rotations.
I want to put Trent in. I think in
Last
terms
6
of,
months, would you say he's in the top 25 defender? If
I think last 6 months includes the tail end of last season. I mean, Liverpool won 2 trophies on the brink of 4. Like, look at his numbers, goals, assists from right back. He's just like a generational talent. I mean, people were so quick to criticise that he doesn't defend and he's so poor in certain areas, but everything he's good at, he's probably the best there is at it.
I'd say it's only his defending that's dropped off.
But the modern day fullbacks, I mean, you're not just like, hey, you're a fullback, you need to defend. The attacking part's almost what you'd be in the team for.
Yeah, I feel like he hasn't got any worse in attacking. He's still fantastic.
I think he
positioning.
just, let's say he was playing in a back 5, where he's got 3 centre backs behind him and he's a wing back. Everyone's going to quickly go, okay, he's less important for him to defend, and he's definitely like this world-class player.
Yeah, I'd be happy to chuck him around 16 to 20 at the moment, and then we can move him around.
I'll chuck him in there just because.
But then I feel like Martinelli's probably a better player than him right now.
Are you kidding me? You think who's going to get you more goals in a team, or like create more goals?
Create more goals? Oh, it's a bit of a grey area.
Well, one is a winger, one's a fullback, but Trent's going to get more assists than him. As a Liverpool fan, I'm going to be so biased. Like, I'm looking at Thiago, and again, there's so many players I think I would really rate, and I can just see other people like, nah.
See, for me, last 6 months, his form, I don't know if he might scrape into the 25 later if we need to fill spots, but for me, he's not a straight into the top 25.
Okay. Like, just based on form, are we putting in like Odegaard in? Like, he's been unreal.
He's been in good
season.
form.
Some of these biases that you just think, Arsenal's doing so well. Like
personally, I'd say he's decent, but I wouldn't put him up there with Saka either.
I want to put Declan Rice in there. I think he's a great player.
Declan Rice needs to go in.
I'll put him in... I'm tempted to put him in 11 to 15.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say he's definitely on the same level as those guys. I'm almost wanting to put Virgil in the top 5.
I'd put Son above Virgil.
What?
But that's being a little bit biased.
That's you being biased because you just love
But I feel like you're being biased with Virgil as well.
I think Virgil is the best centre-back in the world, and he has been for the last 5 years.
Would you say he's the best centre-back right now?
Well, Liverpool obviously doing really poor. Virgil's been injured the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Definitely not had a greatest start of the season. None of the Liverpool players really have. I don't know what the reason is for that.
I feel like right now we keep Virgil and Sonny in the second tier.
We call it a draw.
And if there's no spot to fill towards the end, we'll have to throw out some rock, paper, scissors, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. I want to put Reece James in, actually. I do really like
Reece James, yeah.
Probably slowly
need to put
bring
a couple
him
more
up.
defenders in there.
I mean, we won't get into the debate of Trent Reece James. We'll put him level just there. I do love Luis Diaz. He's been injured. He's not played in a while, but he came into the Liverpool team and just hit the ground running. He's been fantastic. I think I would take him over so many of these other players. But again, people will tell me.
We'll put him in for now.
Yeah, I can just naturally going to be putting in so many Liverpool players. I mean, I'll put him higher than this, but I can just see that. I don't sense that you'd agree with it.
Yeah, I think 16 to 20 is a safe place for him. And if you're going with Liverpool players...
Well, you want to put Everton player in?
I've just spotted Richarlison. Surely he's slotting in there.
Do you believe that?
Especially after the World Cup. You'd say last 6 months
I'll put him in for you, but he's going in the bottom tier.
He can go in the bottom tier. I'm happy with that.
He did save Everton from relegation last season.
He did.
Casemiro, I mean, he's probably on the wrong side of the hill in his career, but
he's been alright.
Yeah, he's done well at United. I think he has hit the ground running and slotted in.
Yeah,
I'll put him in the bottom.
Bottom tier, yeah.
Just don't forget about him. Don't want any United fans going too berserk. I mean, if you want to put like a Cancelo or
I was
one of their
thinking
centre-backs,
Cancelo.
just for the versatility on both sides.
For now, let's chuck him in.
Whereabouts is he?
I would put him. Would you put him alongside Reece James and?
Only because we're making a bit of a fullback group there.
Yeah.
It's too much a can of worms to be trying to split hairs with them. We don't want to get into that debate.
Some of the teams that have been doing better than expected this season, like Newcastle, Brighton, Fulham. Any players from those teams you
could argue a Trippier. I mean,
I do like Trippier.
We've got Trent. We've got like every other fullback in there.
I think we could put him in the fullback group.
Yeah, we'll put him in the we'll make a group of fullbacks here. We'll have to see if we can move Diaz in.
Yeah, chuck him down in 21.
We'll have to, if we get another fullback in, we'll chuck him in. You know what's crazy? Almiron, the season he's been having.
He's been really good.
And
I
Rashford
think he
next to
could
him as
definitely
well.
slide into the bottom tier at least. Rashford, I quite like him. I think he's a bit underrated.
Rashford?
Yeah.
Where would you put him in there?
I would put him probably in that slot as well. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, he hasn't had the full-time striker position for United, but you've had Ronaldo and...
Well, he's been at the club this whole time.
He has been at the club, but...
And they've just not given him that position.
Yeah, like, I feel like he hasn't had a consistent run in a while, but lately, especially, he comes on from the bench and just creates a bit of magic.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like, he's great off the bench, but that's a very different type of player.
Yeah, but now that Ronaldo's gone, they don't have that go-to striker.
So he's got him by default.
I reckon back half this season, my gut feel is he'll actually do pretty well.
But with him as the upfront option, are they like, oh, we need to now sign a striker? Because that's what it's been this whole time where they've had Zlatan and Rashford, Lukaku, Rashford, Cavani and Rashford, Ronaldo and Rashford.
Yeah, I think the form that United are in at the moment, I feel like they're not as worried about it.
Yeah, but are they just going to hang their hat on Marcus Rashford as the number 9 or like the striker of Man United? Or do they think we're Man United, we need a world-class striker? Because he's always been a second option, it feels to me. And he's been pushed out to the wing. And
I think he's getting back to like his best form right now. You're going to have 2 strikers there to motivate each other. But,
places.
So they might look to sign a striker in January, but I think he's doing a pretty good job.
But would that be like a backup striker for Rashford, or are they thinking Rashford?
I think they'd definitely sign someone decent, but I think they'd probably be competing for the spot.
Well, you're happy with him in there then, 21,
yeah.
25.
And
who was the other one? Almiron. I was talking about Almiron.
Yeah, put Almiron in there.
There he is.
He's been getting a lot of goals.
I'm looking at players like Varane,
Yeah.
maybe a Thiago Silva, Zaha. I know you love Zaha. James Ward-Prowse. These are players I'm thinking
Ward-Prowse probably stands out there for me.
to go in.
Yeah. Now
He's definitely not in that 6 or 10 tier. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone that we've missed that needs to go in 1 to 5. So one of these
Yeah,
guys
I agree.
on 1 to 5. Oh, my vote's on Virgil. you want to put Son in.
Would you put Virgil over?
The last 6 months, I definitely would. I mean, Son, what's Son done?
I'm probably looking at Foden out of those three.
To go up.
Who would you want in your team out of those three?
I think
would
Van
you
Dijk.
take
I think
Virgil
Van
over
Dijk is the
Foden?
best centre back in the world. I think Foden, you could easily have another winger that could take his spot. Like, people would argue who's better out of Son and Foden. There's not a single player that you're going to get that's better than Van Dijk. He's obviously taken a dip, and Liverpool as a whole have been so poor of late. But, if we're going off the tail end of last season,
I'm happy for you to chuck him in there.
I would like to put him in there. I just think he's in a few years, people are going to be saying he was the best. He's just compared to all the greatest players.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I was just sort of thinking top 5, you're probably looking at, like we said, more attacking players. But again, you're right. Like, he is probably the best defender in the world consistently.
Well, who do we want to push up then?
Okay, I'm looking at Foden, and I'm thinking who's on Foden, and I guess Son's level as well. I think Saka is.
Yeah, Saka and Mahrez?
Yeah.
Mahrez
Yeah,
as
Mahrez
well?
definitely. He hasn't dropped.
Do you want to do Declan Rice?
I'd be either Fernandez or Rice.
I'll put Rice in
Yeah,
there. I do.
I'm happy with
like
that.
Rice. Andy Robertson, I guess we could easily put in there. Are you screwing your face like you don't like that?
Is that a bit of Liverpool bias?
Well, I
jumping
think
there.
for a few years he was the best left back in the world. But
like
Robertson currently is the defender with the most assists in Premier League history.
Sure that we
Balls
can
out.
find an Everton player who might make the cut.
Where? Who?
For me, it might be a little bit of bias, but Demarai Gray is a bit underrated, I think. Yeah, there's no Everton players getting in there.
Nah. I'm looking at maybe Thiago Silva, Gundogan, Thiago,
Gundogan is still good.
Zaha, Varane. Oh, James Ward-Prowse we did mention.
Oh,
Still not
Ward-Prowse,
sure.
I reckon get him in there. He's been really good. Destroyed Everton single-handedly.
For me, I wouldn't put him as better than Diaz. I'd put him
Neither.
better over Richarlison. I think he's probably on this last category.
Yeah, I agree.
But for me, Diaz moves up. You don't like Diaz.
All right, let's keep the defender group as is. Well, you know what? Slot Casemiro up there, I reckon.
Up onto 11 to 15.
No, I reckon put him in the defender group.
Oh yeah, chuck him in there.
Yeah.
James Ward-Prowse in there.
Yeah. I reckon
But now we need 2 more players still. This is becoming a bit messy.
For me, looking at that group, Martinelli stands above the rest.
Really?
I reckon.
I think Richarlison is doing well to be even in the conversation there.
But we don't want to disrupt the defender group, do we?
It's tough. It's tough what we've done here because we're going to have to split them up.
Straight up, I was thinking Martinelli maybe in the middle tier.
Really? You know
I
what?
think he's.
You've given me Diaz, so I'm willing to respect your
go on.
opinion and put him there.
Chuck him up there. If you look at Diaz and Martinelli, would you be straight up saying Diaz is better than Martinelli?
Oh, yeah, by far. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, nah, Diaz is unreal.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, nah, he's fantastic.
Going off form, like, I know Diaz has been injured and stuff, but
Yeah, he's got some serious injuries.
Martinelli, for me, him alongside Saka on the wings, they're just killing it.
Oh, they are, but they're in a great team.
They
It's just
are.
like a well-oiled machine right now. When Liverpool started this season, we were only picking up points because Diaz was single-handedly carrying them and scoring goals. And the minute he's got injured, it's just been this complete implosion. And everyone's trying to work out what it was. It was only, delayed because of Diaz. Before the season started, I would have definitely put someone like Raheem Sterling in. It's probably the last
Actually,
few months.
Sterling,
That's kind of let me down there.
I still think he's a great player. Obviously, hasn't been in great form recently.
Well, if we wind back the clocks to
he's-
6 months ago, I would definitely be putting
Even
him
when
in
he
there.
was like the tail end of when he was at City, I thought he was still a.
Well, should we
a
put him
starting
in there
player.
and just give him a bit of kind of lenience?
Yeah, I'd put him in there.
I'd put him in 11 to 15 if we're
Would you
thinking
put him
about
over
prime Raheem Sterling?
Yeah, would you put him over Gundogan?
Yeah,
Put him in.
I'd put him in here.
If you think about Chelsea's squad, the only quality player I can think of is Sterling right now.
Yeah.
And Reece James, obviously. But as an attacking player, I can't think of anyone else that provides that sort of
Nah, they've been a bit average.
spark
of
for
late.
the team. And then I reckon Odegaard can slot in at the bottom.
There's a bit of reward for his
Yeah.
season.
He doesn't do anything crazy, but he's definitely, I guess, the engine room of the Arsenal team at the moment.
I think that's quite fair. We look at these names now. I look through that top 10 and I go, yep, these guys are fantastic.
Yeah.
Next tier, like, yeah, quality. It's slowly decreasing, but Martinelli does stand out in my mind there. I don't think he's on the same level as these other guys, but based on Arsenal's form, I'm happy to leave him there. These guys are all great.
All defenders.
It's hard to split them, so we've kind of...
Yeah, I think they're all on the same level.
Yeah, and then these guys, I mean, Richarlison.
You got to say he's been playing well.
This is the form category. These guys are all elite.
I think if you take out the World Cup, I'd probably agree with you more. But I think he just was in really good form during the World Cup, and even with Tottenham, he's been doing all right as well.
Let's just have one
Like,
last
would you slot him out for someone else?
Martinez, the United defender. He's just won the World Cup. He's been decent for United. He's been solid.
If you were putting together a squad, would you pick him over Richarlison? Obviously, different positions.
It depends on it depends on what the other options are, kind of thing. I mean, he's quite versatile as well, Martinez, so he can play as like a number 6 and a centre back, good on the ball. Don't know. Maybe we just leave it.
We've got Grealish there as well. Would you put Grealish over Richarlison? That makes me think of it.
Would I pick Grealish? Yeah. Have we not included him?
Grealish is still sitting
I
out.
would definitely put Grealish over Richarlison.
I'd be happy to swap Grealish with Richarlison.
All right, let's put Grealish in there and we'll take this guy out. Yeah, I mean, Richarlison has been probably quite consistent and decent, but I guess the level...
But you'd say Grealish is a better player overall.
Oh, for sure. I would take Grealish over Richarlison. But guys like Almiron and Odegaard, I feel are kind of in there based on form.
Yeah, I agree.
Whereas like Ward-Prowse, Rashford, Grealish, like these guys are like quality players.
Yeah.
We'll
Looking at
leave
that, I'm pretty happy.
Oh, we'll leave that there. That's the best we're going to do. All right, guys, there you have it. We've ranked our top 25 players from the Premier League. It was a pretty tough job, to be fair. There was 100 kind of faces we were staring at there and I had to move them around a bit. Let us know what you guys think. I'm sure there's going to be so many people quite furious with some of the names we've put or where we've put them. Maybe a bit of bias creeping in from both of us about players we might like, might dislike. Chuck in the comments if there's anyone who should be in higher, someone we've definitely forgotten, someone we've put in who maybe should be well away from this list. We've kind of tried to picture the last 6 months and go off best current players. Sam, anything further you want to say or anything you want to say to defend yourself before they clean you up?
Yeah, look, would have liked to see an Everton player slot in there, but it's sad to say, even as a fan, I can't put anyone in there.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you tried with Richarlison. I managed to kick him out.
Yeah.
As an ex-Everton player. All right, guys, that does it from us. This has been Red Mate. That's Sam. I'm Ant. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.